Hey guys, welcome. My name's Luke McMillan, and I'm the physical exercise specialist at Gagetown, New Brunswick. Now, I work specifically with those who have physical limitations, injuries, or medical conditions. For today's class, it's just going to be a nice, gentle, beginner stretch and flexibility session. So feel free to join. The main goal of today's session is to gain some more movement through the T-spine, the thoracic spine, as well as those hips. Just a couple things I need to say before we get going. Prior to participating, you should make an informed decision on whether or not you need to seek advice from a healthcare provider or an exercise professional. You can consult the Get Active questionnaire from CSET just by clicking the links below. By continuing with this session, you understand there's a risk of injury, as with all physical movement, and you're doing so voluntarily at your own risk. You assume all risk of potential injuries and you release us, CFMWS, of all claims. All right, I think that's it. Let's go. 2 things you'll need for today's session. 1, a yoga block, if you have one. If not, just use a textbook or something else that can assist you through some movements. 2, a yoga mat or a soft surface. So you can pause the video here to go get yourself set up. Now, I know it can be tough to increase performance while at home, but increasing flexibility and increasing range of motion through different joints, you can always work on that. Again, nice, gentle, beginner style stretch routine today. If you're on a couch or something like that, just roll right off and let's get moving a bit. To start, we're gonna stretch the neck. Just get a nice comfortable position here on the floor. You can be on your knees if you'd like, you can cross your legs. And then I'm just going to grab my right wrist like this and just tug gently on that arm there. And then I'm going to bend my head to the left-hand side. Okay, and just slightly tip back the chin. And then we'll really target the anterior scalene, the sternocleidomastoid. And we're going to hold each stretch today for about 30 seconds. Alright, now I'm going to grab my left wrist, tug gently on that arm there, and then bend to the right hand side, and then tip back just slightly. And we'll go back to the other side. I'm grabbing my right wrist now, bending my head to the left-hand side, tipping my chin back just slightly. And let's switch sides one last time. Grabbing the left wrist. Alright, perfect. We'll get into a cat and cow position, guys. So we're just going to be in a tabletop position initially, okay? So just on all fours. I've got a nice neutral spine to start with. Just a natural lumbar curve here, slightly kyphotic up in the T-spine area here. And remember, one of our goals for today is thoracic spine or T-spine mobility, okay? We're gonna be doing some rotational work there later, but for right now, I'm just going to be working through some flexion and extension through that T-spine, okay? That upper back region. So I'm in that tabletop position, nice neutral spine, and then I'm flexing through the T-spine just like this. The cervical spine of the neck can come with it. All right, and then extending just like that. Notice I'm not dipping down like this. I'm really creating some separation in the shoulder blades. and extend. Flex and extend. This is 4. And one last time. 5, flexion and extension. Good. Now spread the knees just slightly there and fall back into a child's pose position. Lengthen those fingertips. Lengthen the lats out. We're just going to stay here for a second. Transitioning through that tabletop position and then going into our cobra position. From here, prone, we're going to push up into our cobra, just like this. And then we're going to move through this movement, okay? So just pushing up once again. There's 2. So if this is giving you lumbar pain or lower back pain, then you can just kind of prone prop here and just push up on your elbows. All right, so that the exercise is a little bit less intense. Just like that. For the rest of us, let's try to stay up on our hands. Now, back extension is a great exercise for bulging discs and something that you should be doing if you've had issues in the past. And let's go through that one more time. Tabletop, neutral spine, thoracic flexion, and extension. Flexion. And extend. Flex. Extend. That's 3. 2 more. And 1 more. There's 5. Spread the knees just slightly. Push back into that child's pose position. Spread the fingertips, lengthen the lats. You can just rest your forehead here on the ground. All right, transition through the tabletop and down into cobra. We're again pushing up. There's 1. This is 4. And 5. Back to our tabletop position. So from here, we're just going to walk the hands out slightly and get into a cat's pose, okay? So just like this. Lengthen those lats out. And once again, you can rest your forehead on the ground if you'd like. And now we're pushing back into our child's pose. Spread the knees a little bit. And from here guys, hopefully you can still hear me well. My head is down into the mat. We're just going to walk our hands over to the left-hand side. And really lengthen out the right side of your torso there. So you'll feel this in the QL. And let's walk our hands to the other side. Again, lengthening this side of the torso. And from here, we'll come back to neutral, come back up to our tabletop, walk those hands back out as if we were going into our cat pose. Okay, and then I'm going to take my left hand and sneak this under my right, just like this. And this is going to be one of our thoracic rotational stretches, okay? So we're scooping this through, and I'm just leaning that shoulder on the ground there, and then resting the side of my head on the mat as well. All right, coming back to neutral, left hand returns to its original place, and then right hand is scooping through, just like so. Our thoracic spine is much more mobile than our lumbar. Our lumbar is more of a stable structure, but our thoracic spine is meant for a little bit more movement. And back to neutral. So I'm back in my neutral position here, guys, and I'm going to walk my hands out back into that cat pose. Okay, and now I'm going to go into a nice chest opener. Okay, so I'm going to place my left hand on the ground here and go into that same rotation and rest the side of my head on the mat and really open up the chest. Okay, we'll switch sides. Left hand returns. Again, goes out laterally. Move that left hand, position that left hand so you can have a nice rotational stretch through the pec here. And just like that. Good work, guys. Back to neutral. Walk those hands back to tabletop. All right, so tabletop position, we're going to transition to a high plank here and bring our right foot up to our right hand. Sink our hips towards the floor here. If that's too difficult for you, let's go right knee on the ground, just like that. All right, for the rest of us, right foot up to our right hand, just like this, proud chest, okay? From here, let's sink those hips down a little bit, bend forward just a little bit here, and then reach our right hand up into a thoracic spine opener. Let's do 5 of these. Here's 2, 3, 4, and one more. 5. Right hand returns to the right foot. Now, we're going to place that left knee on the ground just like that, okay? So now we're in our supported lunge. You can use your hands to support you just like so. And again, start to sink those hips a little bit towards the ground. Open up those hips a little bit. From here, let's do the same rotation, okay? So right hand coming up into our thoracic spine opener. 1. We're doing 5 again. 2. 3. 4. One more. And 5. From here, right hand returns to the right foot here. And then we're just going to sit back into a nice calf hamstring stretch just like this. We can hinge to create more of a nice stretch back here. And we want to dorsiflex the foot. Okay, so point those toes right towards your face just like so. You might have a little bit more range than me. So if you do, and you can hinge more from the hips, just fold over nice and lightly there and maintain a nice neutral spine as best you can. From here, let's lean back forward into our supported lunge. Now for those of you who can, we're going to reach back, grab our left foot, and go into a nice quad and hip flexor stretch. Now this might be where you want to use a brick to support yourself, just like so. Reach back, grab that foot, and open up. Awesome. Now let's transition to the other side. Tabletop, high plank. You guys with me? Left foot up to left hand. We're in our stride position. Sink those hips towards the ground. Left hand is opening up. We're doing 5 of these. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Left hand returns to the left foot. Place that right knee on the ground once again. We're in our supported lunge position. Proud chest, neutral spine. Tuck that chin. From here, let's go into our thoracic spine opener. Left hand reaches up. 1, 2. If this knee is going anywhere, it's going just slightly off to the side. 3, 4, and 5. Left hand returns to the left foot. From here, we're going to rock back into our calf and hamstring stretch. Dorsiflex the foot. Really feel a nice stretch along the posterior chain of the leg here. So if you need more of a stretch, just hinge a little bit more. Flex that foot as much as you can. Rocking back forward into our supported lunge. From here, I'm going to grab that right foot, open up the hip flexors, feel a nice stretch along the quads and the hip flexors here. You can use your hand to support you if you'd like. Again, bringing that brick over, grabbing that right foot, just like so. All right, great work, guys. Let's get back to our tabletop. High plank. And let's land into a pigeon pose. So now with our right foot, we're going to just drape that leg across just like so. And land in that pigeon pose like that. All right, so you'll feel this in the glutes for sure. And if you need your brick here, or your textbook, or something like that, just kind of keep it like this. You can keep yourself propped up a little bit, all right? If you don't want to go so deep. If you want to go deeper, then we really sink those hips towards the ground, and you can go right over on your elbows, or you can rest your head down on your fists stacked up. You can do the same on the brick, just like so. And if you can rest your head all the way to the ground, you can do that as well. All right, guys, great work. And then prop ourselves back up. All right, get that leg out of there. High plank, left foot now. Left leg drapes across into our pigeon pose. All right, great work, guys. Let's get out of this. All right, guys, how's everyone making out? Pretty good? Pretty simple, pretty easy going so far. Let's go into a hip opener now, guys. It's actually one of my favorites. We're gonna start in tabletop position here. My right foot is going to kick out just like so. I'm gonna make sure I have enough room to do it. And my right foot is just flat on the ground like this. I'm gonna start just slightly rocking back and forth. Just like so here. And now I'm going to add an internal rotation. Okay, so on the fourth, I'm going to internally rotate. Just like that. So back, fourth, internally rotate. Just like that. So my heel just lifts up and I internally rotate at the hip. Just like that. Back, fourth, internally rotate. You can start to get a little bit deeper with it. Great job, guys. Let's bring that right foot back in. We're in our tabletop position once again. My left foot now is out just like this, flat on the ground, tabletop, nice neutral spine here, rocking back and forth nice and lightly to begin with. Okay, start to deepen the stretch a little bit, and now we'll internally rotate at the hip, just like that. Great work, guys. Let's do this one again. Heading back over to that right foot, rocking back and forth, internally rotating. Awesome. Back to tabletop. Left foot out. Rocking back, fourth, internally rotating. Perfect, guys. We're gonna switch positions once again. So getting into that other position, guys, my right leg is at 90 degrees. Okay, so let's start with our right leg ahead of us here. Right leg, 90-degree angle here. And then our left leg has a 90-degree angle as well, just like that. Okay. So we're getting some nice external rotation here with that lead leg, and then some nice internal rotation here with that back leg. We're just going to hinge at the hips just like that. Okay, it's much easier if you're over to the side. Obviously you can kind of hinge right forward, but we want head stacked on top of shoulders, on top of hips, just like this. And then we go into that hinge. Okay, feeling the glutes there for sure. Support yourself however you would need. You can use your brick here if you'd like. Now we're going to add in some PNF. So PNF is proprioceptive neuromuscular facilitation. Much easier just to say PNF. But basically we're going to employ like a contract relax mechanism here to deepen the stretch. So this right knee here, I'm just going to push it into the ground 1 and 5 times. 2, okay, we're just pushing that right knee right into the ground. 3, right? 4, good. 5, awesome. Okay, so now we're going to pull that knee back. We're just going to pull that knee up. 1, good. 2, 5 times. 3, 4, 1 more. 5, knee back towards the ground. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, and back towards your face. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Good. Now this back foot, we're going to lift that back foot just off the ground. And if you can't lift it off the ground, that's fine. Just really think about lifting that back foot off the ground. 1, good. 2, 3, 4, and 5. Good work. Hinge forward. Awesome. Let's switch sides, guys. So, left leg out in front now. 90 degrees, nothing changes. 90 degrees here, 90 degrees with that right foot, with that right leg rather. Okay, stacking right on top and hinging forward just slightly. Obviously, if you need to hinge further down, then create a little bit more stretch for yourself. Good work, guys. Let's push that knee right into the floor 5 times. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1 more. 5. Good. Pulling that knee back to your face. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Good. Let's do it one more time. Knee towards the ground. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Knee towards your face. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And hinge forward. Good work, guys. Now we're going to lift that back foot off the ground 5 times. Again, if you're not able to do it, then just really think about lifting that foot up. Okay, so let's go 5 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1 more. 5, Great work, guys. Back to a seated position here. We're going to go into just a classic butterfly. Okay, so scooping those feet right in, and then using our elbows to push down on our knees. And hold. All right, so from here, we're going to stand up. Standing up just like this. Hopefully you guys can see me still a little bit. And then we're just going to go into a nice toe touch, just like this. And squatting down to a very bottom end range squat like this. Now if you find this difficult, you might want to hold on to something in front of you, and if that's still too difficult, then just lean right forward like this. Okay, for the rest of us, we can sit back into this bottom out squat here. And you can use your elbows to kind of push on your knees a little bit as well. All right, guys, back up into the toe touch. And back down into that bottom toe squat. Push those knees apart. One more time, up into that toe touch. And back down into that bottom toe squat. I'm surprised my dogs haven't ruined this video yet. We're almost done here, guys. All right, perfect. All right, thanks a lot for joining me today, guys. Really appreciate it. I definitely feel more loosened up and opened up throughout the hips and the thoracic spine as well. I hope you do too. Now, these are crazy times, but I'm just super thankful that I'm able to help out and inspire a little bit more movement in any capacity, really. It doesn't take much to stimulate some blood flow and create a little bit more flexibility throughout some joint structures. I'm just super happy to be part of this community online here. We're able to help each other out and maintain some healthy habits. With that, stay home, stay healthy, and thank you.